resizes. We'll look at this more in a bit. Now, when we were doing that rasterization, that painting, you may have realized that we were sort of effectively overdrawing the pixels over and over. We'd sort of fill it in as we go from back to front. What happens then if we need to, say, move this picture up here? Well, what happens is the browser chucks a sort of an area around it, says, right, this bit is damaged. And so now we need to step through and re-rasterize step by step by step. And of course, it doesn't take much imagination to start going, huh, what if there's a lot of elements that need to be repainted as a consequence of what I did, what I moved? Thankfully, there is a fix for this, as it were, this behavior, which is the layer, the humble layer. The idea is you can rasterize, you can paint into different surfaces. So this is actually my site, and the masthead carousel-y thing is essentially its own layer. So it gets rasterized independently, it gets painted independently of the site behind it. So you see, if you sort of look behind it, you can see the pattern still there and so forth. Chrome's going to show you this in DevTools as composited layers. This is the idea where it goes, how many layers do I need? Putting them all, making sure they're all in the right place, putting them all back together, and that's composite layers. Now, as a side effect of creating a layer, the next and previous buttons are actually DOM elements on the top of my canvas, and they actually have to be promoted to their own layers to preserve the depth order. Otherwise, they'd be on that back one, and they're lost. So, put it all back together, composite layers. So the layers thing is basically how we get around this problem. So you might be asking yourself, well, how do I create a layer? Fair enough. The most common one, listed at the top, is the 3D transform. So translate Z0 or translate 3D 0, 0, 0 is the one that people often use to force layer creation. Videos, canvases, composited plugins like Flash Silverlight, animations on opacity, transforms, filters, and the last one is that next and previous button one. It got rendered on something on top of something that was already a layer, so we had to make a layer for it. This is very implementation specific. I include it because people are often interested and want to know, but it is a thing. I've put the subject to change because it's an implementation detail. It's not something you're going to find in a spec. So we've done all our painting. Great for us. Just for completeness' sake, I'm just going to tell you we actually paint into tiles. It doesn't change anything we do. I just like to include it because I'm a sucker for the details. All of this happened on the CPU side. Up to this point, we haven't hardware accelerated anything particularly, probably, most likely not, unless it's a video or